Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alana Brathwaite. This is my final presentation for my PAC resources. The organization and the HR department. What should be done in the light of low sales numbers? I believe what should be done in the light of low sales numbers is to overhaul the company's sales strategies and processes of the sales managers, create target goals for each salesperson, better communicate and allowing for input and feedback from salespersons, implement sales training and retraining if needed, working as a team to achieve a common goal, sales. Market products by highlighting the ISO quality certification. Customers need to know about quality products and seeing how the company is, PAC is quality certified. Why not let people know and use that as a selling point? Attend trade shows and exhibitions to gain a following and potential customers. What should be done, if anything, about the fraudulent sales? I believe that the necessary persons should obtain the correct sales information so that they know what exactly they're working with, retrace the correct sales numbers, where the incorrect information came from, excuse me, and terminate the appropriate person or persons that were involved uh, in providing that information to the company. They should be terminated. What can be done to improve employee communication methods? I believe what can be done to improve employee communication methods are to hold regular in-house meetings, share the company's sales numbers, successes, and losses so everyone knows or has an idea of the volume of product that the company is selling, to be transparent regardless of the fact if it's negative or positive, continuously strategizing and planning, helping PAC obtain their goals. Human resources development. Identify the goals of PAC's training programs. Are they meeting these goals? What can it be improved? I don't believe that they're meeting their goals. And I think what they can do to improve or to meet those goals is to encourage employee development, improve people's skills, listen and develop conversations, encourage a collaborative exchange, allow employees to provide feedback and welcome input, and increase information exchange. Assist the staff with solutions to problems and concerns that they may have. As I mentioned before, I don't believe that they're meeting these goals. Employees are lacking people skills. The human resources department, the training is not received universally, meaning that some people are on board with it and some people are not. They feel like it should be handled in another way. Some people feel like it's a waste of money. So everybody needs to get on board with the goals and the mission and the purpose of the company so that they could be more cohesive with their whatever they're trying to come across, or however they're trying to come across, or to be successful. And lastly, the human resources department is not working together as a team, as I mentioned, and the training department. Some too many have too much to say. What could be improved? I believe what can be improved is managers need to get on board with the mission and the goals of PAC and the human resources department. Everyone needs to adapt to change and understand that, like it or not, it's going to happen. Provide positive energy, no negativity, and develop talent. That could be accomplished by utilizing the training department as well as um, what they can obtain, what they can get from their supervisor or manager as well. Discuss PAC's efforts to retain, and transfer knowledge. Are these efforts effective? I believe the communities of practice, snack chat meetings on Friday where the employees can discuss anything are ways for PAC to transfer knowledge. Other ways are the company's intranet blog, In-house training and exit interviews are all ways that they transfer information, because it's just about communication, and it's also about receiving the information and putting the accurate information out as well. What could be improved? What could be done to improve these processes? Cohesion of managers regarding company policies and procedures. Everyone needs to work in unison. Face-to-face meeting with managers, open discussions, resolving issues instead of emailing one another. Uh, have an open dialogue, but do it in person. That way you can hash out anything that may be wrong or that may be right. You know, it's it's better if it's hands-on and you see the person face to face, instead of just sending emails with he said or I heard. It's better to just speak to that person directly. Managers need to understand the objectives and be strategic with their decision making. Also, be mindful of incorrect information and gossiping that's being spread around the company. Those are the ways that they can improve the processes. What can human resources do to improve the transfer of training? They can assure the training is in line with PAC's goals and missions, monitor training from outside facilitators, perhaps even standardizing it and bringing it in-house or even electronically. And lastly, employees should receive consistent training for whatever their job function is. So if you have a department and one person may be going out for training, maybe in 2 weeks someone else will go out for training also. They need to receive, based on their job title or description, a consistent amount of training. So they, as the other person, so they could be able to work together and to be more effective to their department. How can the Human Resources Department demonstrate return on investment to prevent cuts in the training budget? What is the business case for training? They can demonstrate a return on the investment for training by monitor employees' changes after training, conduct satisfaction surveys, measure employment skills and efficiency. Question: did they improve? Monitor them after the training. Did they improve? Are their work practices better? Um, and lastly, perform after training assessment and provide a grade. So maybe a little short quiz after the test, just reiterating or asking questions of what they learned, and see if they obtained any information. Provide notes, a manual perhaps, if it's a process that they have to continue to do step by step, so they could always refer back to it. It's just basically looking at the employee and the output of work to see if it's something that has been um, improved. And what is the business case for training? The business case for training is to improve the employee's work performance, provide additional skills, improve morale, increase productivity, and foster employee development. Security and safety. Discuss the business case for wellness and flexible scheduling. For wellness, we can, if the company is interested in the employee's wellness, could reduce the number of sick days used. It can reduce medical and workers compensation claims, will keep those numbers down and increase productivity among staff. Flexible scheduling can uh, make the employee feel like they have a balanced work home life, because they're not stuck to a rigid schedule, so that if they have outside appointments, be it personal or family related, that they will be able to schedule around more better around their work schedule, because they're not tied to 9 to 5 per se. Employees feel supported when that happens. They feel less stressed out when things like that happen. And it also reduces absenteeism, because if you have a set schedule and you have a school meeting and that's around work time, you probably will call out depending on the severity of it, because that's the only time that you'd be able to do it. So that would reduce absenteeism as well. Discuss the possibility of differentiating health insurance coverage. Perhaps different coverage for the manufacturing side versus the administrative side. And the reason that I say that is because in manufacturing, you probably need a little bit more cushion or covering for your insurance because you're more likely to get injured because your job is more hands-on and more physical, whereas the administrative side, you aren't really doing anything that would cause you to get hurt severely dep depending on the type of manufacturing going on. But they tend to use equipment and machinery and stuff like that. That's why I say things like that. Change it dependent eligibility and also age limits for dependents. We see uh, the medical now allows children, I believe, up to 26 years old to still be on the parents' insurance. So maybe scaling that back some and to 21 or 18 so that the um, that would offset some of the costs. Staffing. How can PAC reduce labor costs and still save as many jobs as possible? PAC can encourage older employees to retire, job sharing or cross training. Since they're laying off people, they can cross train and job share. They can eliminate employee bonuses and offer unpaid leave or time off. Discuss the short term and long term implications of downsizing. What does research say? The implications of downsizing is declining employee morale, employee mistrust or insecurity, negative company reputation, increased workload, loss of skilled workforce due to quitting. These are all things that can be affected by downsizing. Compensation and benefits. Discuss how the bonus system at PAC could be improved. It can be improved by being realistic about the bonuses. Bonus implement bonuses based on meeting or exceeding goals. Setting goals for the employee, seeing their work, their actual work, and being rewarded for that instead of just because they've been at the company for 10, 15 years. Provide other incentives for bonuses besides cash. Flex time, perhaps, working from home, gift cards can be offered in lieu of cash payments. Employee relations. Discuss unfair labor practices. Are there any instances of unfair labor practices at PAC? If so, how should they be addressed? I don't think there were any unfair labor practices at PAC. However, an employee was wrongfully terminated and they needed to rectify that situation immediately. The employee needed to be compensated for any back pay that they did not receive and any fees that they were uh, incurred for the inconvenience. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.